Hi, my name is Jaynes. I am the founder of Breaking Chains, an organization driven to spread awareness about the disease of addiction and everything that comes with it as far as trauma and talking about things that are hard to talk about. So today I have a special guest on the show. His name is Caron. He is an aspiring rap artist who is doing an amazing job at becoming well known in this area and definitely around the country. He has, been a big part of our community, so I wanted to touch base with him and see how he's doing and talk to him about some different things. So, we are going to start this.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, all these questions, some of them are light, some of them are a little deeper. They're all ranges. This is not just strictly about addiction. So if you're watching this in the hopes that it's all addiction questions, it is not, because there is some good to breaking chains. And in order to break stigma, we do need to talk about other things as well, right? Right. So, all right, we will start with, what is your name, how old are you, and where are you from?
My name is Nick. I'm 23, almost 24. I'm from Bradenton, Florida, but I moved to Panama, New York when I was 5, and I lived there until I was 19, and then I moved to Delaware when I joined the military, and I've been there ever since. And then I come here to visit back home every so often.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. I know a lot of people don't really get out of this area, and I wish I got to travel as much as he does. I got a kid and not enough money, but that's okay. So, alright, tell me what your life was like growing up, how you felt, family life, stuff like that, that started the foundation of your life.
Growing up was fairly normal. I was born in Florida, like I said, in Bradenton. When I was 1, my dad left, so my mom ended up meeting my stepdad while she was down there. And he was originally from here, from Panama. And that is when they dated for a few years, and then they came up here when I was 5 years old. They got married that same year, so it was 2001. Went to Panama High School and, their middle school or whatever, their elementary. I don't remember where I went. I think Bosie's. Is that a preschool?
Preschool? No. Bosie's preschool? Probably.
I went to Bosie's for something when I was little. I don't remember what it was.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I grew up, and everything was pretty normal. We didn't have a lot of money or anything, but I was generally a good kid until my late teens. That's when I got a little crazy, but, what else?
How did you feel as far as when you were in school? Did you feel like you fit in with other people? Did you feel like you were separate? How did you feel in that way?
I guess I got along with everybody. That's kind of a Panama thing, though, because the classes are so small.
Yeah.
That everyone just kind of gets along. There's no cliques, or there's no jocks or nerds. Everybody's just kind of like just a family, I guess would be the best way to put it. So I think that's actually very rare, and that's actually a really cool thing about that school. I don't know how it is now, but that's how it is when I went, and it was like that through every grade all the way until we graduated. But yeah, got along with everybody. Never got in any fights or anything. Nobody really ever caused trouble or anything like that. It was a very good school and a pretty good upbringing as far as schooling goes.
That's awesome. Did you struggle as far as your grades or anything to do with that? How are you doing with that?
Nope, I was on a roll until, I want to say, my junior and senior year. I was merit roll. I was in my 80s or whatever. I just didn't care.
That's great.
Generally smart, just not motivated would probably be the good way to put it.
Yeah, been there, done that. Definitely. Once you don't like something and you're not motivated by it anymore, it's definitely harder. Sorry, it just sounded weird for a second. How did you feel when you found your talent? At what age did you realize that you had one, and did you start working on it at that point, or is it just something you kind of blew off and moved forward from?
I think it was 15 when I wrote my first song. I knew I liked music a lot from a young age, but when I first started writing, it was not good. It wasn't bad, though. That was the thing. I knew it was good for being 15 and not making music. I knew I could write very well. So over the years, I did make music, and I just recorded on an Xbox headset, just plugged into a laptop. It was not,
awesome.
It was not good at all. but I just, every once in a while I'd make a song. It wasn't a lot, maybe like once every 3 months. Me and a couple buddies would just get together and just make something just to do it. And then I kind of took it more serious. I started dropping videos on Facebook. I think I did the first one when I was like 18, and it actually got a lot of love, so I continued to do that. And then now, you know, when I do a video on Facebook, it gets 10, 15,000 views. It's just me rapping on my phone. I'm not doing anything special. And then when I was, let's see, I started buying studio equipment and just starting to do stuff myself. Got like a real microphone, things of that nature. Still didn't know what I was doing, but through just the process and just learning, just got better and better over time. And then my manager, who's over there, found me because he's from this hometown, this area. And that's when I finally got flown out to go to a real studio and actually work the real business and actually learn how it actually works and get to meet people that really know what they're doing. And now that's kind of where I'm at, is just kind of building with our team and just kind of figuring out where we're going with it and what our foundation is for what we are doing. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long process, and there's definitely a lot more to go with that, and there's a lot more coming.
Yeah, that's awesome, especially being 23 years old. I mean, I don't know a lot of people that are 23 years old and already producing music and doing things that they really found that they love to do. You know, a lot of people spend their whole life doing things that they don't even care about. And this is what's insane to me, is that we can literally spend our whole life in a blink of an eye doing things that did not ever benefit us or help us, just to end up with an apartment we've been renting out for 20 years. You know, it's insane. And when you watch these videos, I want you to think about, when you go home and you go to bed, I want you to think about, like, are you doing things that you love? Because when we interview people, you know, I want people that do things that they love to come on our show, and I want other people to realize that they can do it too. And it's really, really, really big for me to help other people to move forward with their lives and decide if they love what they do and if they're going to make a change to do that. Because even if you have kids, if you have things in the way, you are in control of your life. And if you do not begin to realize that and take control of it, you will never get where you want to be, and you will always have an excuse to sit in the same spot, and you do not want that. You don't. You really don't. Alright, so let's see. Have you gone through any severely traumatic experiences, and if so, how did they affect you?
We spoke about this earlier, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head. We spoke about how that could be different for everybody. So one thing might affect somebody entirely different than somebody else. So there's nothing severely traumatic that I can think of, but I'm sure stuff has happened, but maybe just it didn't affect me as it would somebody else. Definitely had hardships and things like that, but nothing too crazy, fortunately. I mean, I'm still young. I'm sure life has a way of doing things, but at this time, no, there's been nothing that I can think of that was that crazy or that life-changing, so to speak. Just regular stuff.
Yeah, this goes to show it's about perspective. So, you know, things that I've heard some of his story and things that have happened to him, somebody else might still be crying over and using as an excuse to not move on. And this is something that when you decide to, you know, make that thought process change and you change how you think, that's how your life gets better. And yeah, I know that definitely, as far as I've met a lot of people, that the people that are overcoming those things do not consider their life this big ball of trauma. I mean, maybe they did at one point and they overcame it, and now it's like nothing to them. And the more you shrug off things that happen to you and you realize they're for the better, or they're good for you, or they're a lesson, then you move forward and you get better and things get better for you. It's all about perspective, and I really do think that's awesome that you've already got a hold on that, because a lot of people at our age don't figure that out. You know, they're still wading in the little shallow pool of bullshit that they've been sitting in their whole life. So that's all right. That's awesome. Let's see. So how has addiction affected your life in any way? Do you know anybody close to you that's dealt with it, as friends, family, even yourself? How has that affected you, and what did you do about it, and what was your reaction to it?
nobody personally in my family other than my father, who I never met because he left when I was about 1. He's definitely an alcoholic. I would say I had my stepdad at an early age, so it didn't really affect me because he filled those shoes, thankfully. You know, he stepped up. I still haven't met my dad or anything at this point. But that would be the only personal, like family, like super close. I definitely had a lot of friends that dabbled in different things, pills, coke, whatever. Never any heroin, thankfully. Some of them were fine. You know, they dabbled and nothing ever came from it. Some of them got pretty close to being full-blown addicted and definitely did a lot of dumb stuff, stealing, things like that. But most of them bounced back and were able to, you know, open their eyes and realize what was going on, and people, family and friends did, you know, call them out on their bullshit, because that's what you have to do.
That's what you do.
You have to be able to speak up and tell them, like, yo, this isn't cool, this isn't you, you need to slow down or stop, or, you know, whatever the immediate case may be. Yeah, that's what I would say for that.
That's a really good point. You know, if you have a friend or a family member that's struggling with addiction, do not feel wrong for calling them out on their shit. Here's the thing, they're stuck in the insanity of their own issue. So a lot of things that you say to them, whether you hand them money and you say nice things to them, or you don't hand them money and you say mean things to them, they're still going to do the same thing. At the end of the day, you have to protect yourself and create that boundary so that you do not get hurt, because they do not even realize half the time that they're hurting people, and if they do, it's just a part of the cycle of guilt that goes into them using again. So you don't want to play a part in that. If you know somebody that's using, you know, be an emotional support from a distance, but you don't want to get yourself so into it and feel bad and feel like you are the reason why they do the things they do, because you are not. If you have a family member that's left you for their addiction, it's not your fault. It's really not. And when you start to understand that, you know, then you'll be able to forgive them, because once you forgive them, the only thing that happens to you when you hold a resentment is it hurts you. It's not hurting them. It's only hurting you. So, you know, this is a big thing. If you have, you know, a really big guilt factor in your own self for somebody else's mistakes, kind of think about letting that go, because it will definitely help you in the long run as well as them.
Yep, I'd agree.
The next question is, okay, what was the lowest point in your life that you've gone through so far?
2017. We already went over this, but 2017 is when I went through a divorce. I got a DUI. I was arrested. I was on probation. Because of that, I couldn't pay bills for a while because all my money was in that. Lawyers and all that good stuff. And that dragged out for probably almost a year. But thankfully, I had good people around me. And I was able to keep my head on my shoulders and look to the future instead of the moment that I was in. And I knew that it would eventually get better. And that's kind of how I look at anything bad going on, is that it'll always get better. It might get worse first, but it's going to get better eventually. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that was a year-long just battle with myself and just everything I was going on in my life and everything that I was dealing with. But really all I could say for things of that is just it doesn't matter where you are at in life or what you're doing, like it's always going to get better. Like nothing lasts forever. It might feel like it, but it's not going to. So it's always just look for the positive things in the moment and look for the light at the end of the tunnel, and just keep your head up and just wake up every day and just do your thing, and don't slow down or don't feed yourself negative thoughts about what is going on, because I mean you can't change it in the moment. It's going to take time to make any changes, so just reassure yourself that you can do it. And I know anybody can do anything, so it's definitely the thing.
That's definitely true. It's really hard when we're in really, really bad spots to see the good and to see the future, even want a future sometimes, you know. Sometimes we don't even want to live anymore, but, you know, even if you're sitting in a jail cell looking at the shoes on your feet, you know, there's people that don't have shoes. There's people that don't have a roof over their head. There's people that did nothing wrong in this world and have literally have everything stripped away from them for no reason at all. So being grateful and thankful for what you have and pushing forward despite how bad it is really the only thing you can do. to make things better for yourself and everybody around you.
Yep.
We don't always deserve what happens to us as well. It's just life, you know. And
Very true.
you know, we have to take things that happen to us as a lesson and move on with them and learn from them. Otherwise, we may relive them again and again and again. But yeah, that's awesome. I definitely see a lot of people get really stuck in situations like his, drug addiction or not. They get stuck with DUIs, you know, different charges, things like that, and they get fed up with the legal system. They don't cooperate, or they do. Some people make it out, some people don't, and they end up cycled back into the legal system over and over again to the point to where they can't get a job, they can't reintegrate into the community or their own society. So they believe that all their worth is that jail cell, and that's what they want, kind of. They don't realize it. It's self-sabotage, and it happens quite often. So you know, be aware of that. I'm really happy that you got past that and you worked through it, and you know that as well. You definitely have a lot of wisdom for your age as well. I mean, I'm the same age as you, but people tell me that, so I can tell you that. So
That's the thing. Everything you go through, you learn a lot from it, and I think that's definitely a positive thing from any negative situation. So definitely it wises you up, and that's 100%. Not a bad thing. So that's also a bonus at the end of the tunnel. You're gonna be a lot smarter.
Yep, you have a great story.
That too.
People like to hear good stories sometimes. All right, let's see. Did you ever heavily use drugs?
No, ma'am. Just dabbled, experimented, normal high school, college kid things. Never did anything hard, really, thankfully. And I think that's a key factor as to why I never went down a bad path. You know, even experimenting with things is a dangerous line to walk, because you never know if you have addiction in your family or in your genes. You never know. I mean, somebody might never tell you, and you might do something one time, and then you're screwed.
Off to the races.
That's it. You never even saw it coming. So I don't think there's anything wrong with experimenting. I mean, kids are kids. They're going to do what they're going to do. But I think it's good to at least know yourself, know, your family, everything like that. And obviously don't do any hard drugs, because that's not even worth it. There's no point in even experimenting with things like that. But
it's not even what we think they are anymore, anyways.
By any means. So just be smart, stay away from anything hard, and definitely just don't go crazy with anything, alright? You only get one life, and you can mess it up real quick. That's a 100% fact.
Real quick.
So be safe and be smart, and do not do what your friends tell you to do because you're peer pressured into it. If you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. If you know it's bad, don't do it. Just be smart, that's all I can really say. And that's geared more towards the younger people, but adults as well. So
it's true. It really is true, you know. You can, as a kid, if you listen to this and you're like, 15, 16, a little bit older, I know it's hard because other people are going to tell you a lot of things and feed you a lot of things, but you do normally know the difference. I mean, when you grow up, you hear things like, don't do it, and he's right. If you hear it and you know it, don't do it, because there's a reason why they say it. It's not because they just want to scare you. It's real.
Yep.
Especially if you've seen people die from it, because I guarantee every one of you at least know one person that's passed away from addiction. And it can be you. You're not invincible. Just because you're young does not mean you are invincible to drugs, to, messing around, drinking and driving. All that shit is scary. When you go out and you party, you're also risking your life as well. It's normal. We do it. I partied many, many, many times. I'm just saying that, be smart.
Yeah,
think about it. Get a DD if you can.
Yeah, your decisions can change your life in a split second.
Forever.
Forever.
And if you don't die, you have to suffer the consequences for the rest of your life. Yeah. It's not fun. Okay. Do you know anybody that died from addiction?
Not anybody personally. There are a couple people that I know from high school, way back. Not high school, I would say, but that I remember being in my school when I was younger, that I know have passed away from addiction.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it, but you definitely see it every day. online, social media, the news, wherever. Like, it's obviously an epidemic. It's not hiding from us. It's right there in your face. So there's just something about it. I don't know why it's still a problem. Even if you know it's bad, it's still going to continue to happen. So even if you guys have never dealt with it personally as a person or with your family or anything, definitely pay attention to what's going on and definitely speak up, support people even if you don't know them, because that's the only way it's going to stop. Because I feel like if it doesn't affect you or your family, people just kind of don't care, and because it doesn't affect them. But that's the only way to have it stop as a whole, is if everybody cares, and if everybody's even just
100%.
sharing something, a post or something that speaks on it, you know, just little stuff like that or things like that. So just because it doesn't affect you or your family doesn't mean it's not affecting
The
somebody
world, and won't
around
affect you later.
or even somebody you know. You might not know. It might affect them a lot, and you wouldn't know because they didn't tell you. So definitely just be mindful of the people around you and the things you see, and, you know, just show support and speak up and show love and care, because you never know what somebody's going through. I think that's the biggest thing about that. Is it might be too late before, you know, your friend could seem fine and then the next day they're gone.
Yep.
You'd never know. So
Don't be that person who ignored it. Don't be that person that, you know, just believed it would get better without helping. The thing is, the person that you might be judging might be the person that only you can save. So think about that.
that's deep.
Let's see. How has the military affected you?
Definitely made me a better person, more disciplined, hardworking. You know, it puts morals and values in you, gives you something to stand up for and something to believe in if you don't have anything. It's definitely a job. It's a good job. I didn't want to go to school or anything, and I didn't want to live with my parents anymore, so that's why I joined. But it's definitely, I wouldn't be where I'm at without it. I'd probably still live with my parents or something, who knows, working a dead-end job. But it's definitely beneficial, and I think that it should be looked into more by the people around here, just kids in general. You know, just because you don't want to go to school doesn't mean that there's nothing for you to do. And it's definitely worth it. And then you'll get school for free when you're older and you want to go, and you find out what you want to do with your life. But yeah, it definitely makes you a better person overall, just more polite, just hardworking, disciplined. You know, all those things that go along with it that you would typically believe go along with it really do. And you know, like I said, it's a good job. They pay for your school. I wouldn't be able to travel and make music if I didn't have it. You know what I mean? Because it costs a lot of money to do all this. So
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend the military for anybody that is able to get in and doesn't know what they want to do with their life. It's definitely worth a shot, 100%. So.
All right, that was a good pitch on that. I definitely think there is some good in getting some discipline in your life. So tell me about, what are some goals that you want to see in the next couple years in your life?
Oh, cool. Definitely want to do music full time. That's for sure. I've got 2 years left in the military, so I definitely want to own my own studio. I want to do music full time and just live at the studio basically and just always be there. I definitely want to pay off all my parents' bills. I want to put my sister through college. She's not old enough, but I want to have her college paid for already, have a little fund for that. And definitely start doing stuff around the communities. FYP, our team has already talked about doing free shows, doing, you know, little festivals, just get-togethers. We've been giving away clothes all weekend while we're here. We've given away over $1,000 worth of clothes in the last 48 hours. You know, we definitely want to get to a point where we have enough money to give back to just where we grew up and things like that, and open different businesses or just things that can, you know, benefit the community as a whole.
Help our economy.
Because it's not all about me or my team, or, you know, that's not what we're all about. So yeah, definitely that. And definitely put out some good music, relatable music or fun music, a little bit of everything, really. So that's the thing.
Music heals. Music helps. Music is a language that we can all relate to. So I definitely think that you help the community no matter what you do when you put music out. I really do believe that. Especially when you do something you love, you're just helping by doing something you love and you don't even realize it. But if there was anything you could change about yourself or your life, like say, you know, things about your personality or the way that you do things, what would you change?
I want to make music full time. That's the first thing. That's kind of a big change, though.
Yeah.
I'd probably just be nicer overall, I think. I think I'm a pretty nice person, but you can always be better. Maybe just start complimenting people randomly throughout the day. You never know. Things like that. I want to be healthier, go to the gym more, stop smoking, eat better, and make more relatable music, really. And just focus on stuff that people can relate to, because I think that's where you really build a fan base and connections with people, to be honest. So.
All right, Nick, it's really been a pleasure working with you today. I think that this is a great help for Breaking Chains. Also, I think it's a good help for you. I'm glad that you took the time to meet up with me. You know, it's not really easy for people to take time out of their day. It seems easy. It's even hard for me to find time. So, yeah, it's awesome. I really think you're doing a lot of good stuff. I think you can help a lot of people, and I think that you have a good message in general. Even if you didn't do music, even if you just stopped music today, you have a good message regardless.
Right.
So I'm really happy that we came out here. If you or anyone you know is struggling with addiction and you would like to help them get into treatment, you can contact us on the Breaking Chains, the Whitney Project Facebook page. We are going to have a blog up in the next week, a YouTube channel, as well as an Instagram. We also are going to be at the Lockport Rally on August 31st, an Overdose Awareness Day, where you can buy our t-shirts or you can come just support us. I'm going to be speaking to a lot of people that day. So I really love the support I've gotten. Our donations are up to like 1,200, something like that. You know, it's definitely been a blessing to be able to work with us and meet people like him and talk to people like him. And, you know, get people's stories. I know that it's rough to talk about these things, but if you have a story and you want to share it, even if you're not doing anything crazy, even if you're just sitting at home with your parents and you got off heroin, I want to hear your story. Even if you found yourself in the mental health ward at one point because you wanted to commit suicide and you want to talk about it, I want to hear it. So if you're that person and you want to meet up and do one of these, please let me know, because your voice needs to be heard. I'm telling you, there's people that you can save from these videos, and it may seem like it's nothing, but it's not. But thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate everything that's been going on here, and I really do see a great future for you and your music. Please follow him. His name is Nick Caron. He has Nickotine on Facebook. That's his music name. Everywhere. Is
Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Instagram, whatever. Wherever you can find it, it's there.
He's a good rapper. If you listen to some of his stuff, it's really good. It is getting more relatable. It's awesome. How many followers do you have now? You have a lot, don't you?
It's like 7,000 on almost every different platform.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So some more than others, but around there. So.
That's what I mean, and it isn't about followers. It's about basically building connections with people and showing that you care and that you want to be a face to be remembered as kind and helpful and a good music maker. So,
yeah, absolutely.
No, you're doing awesome. All right, well, thank you, everybody, and thank you for listening. We will have more to come, and I'm going to go shut off this video.